This video is probably going to be a mess, so enjoy. I am burnt out on BookTube. I'm pretty sure it's been pretty noticeable over the past year that my heart just isn't in this channel like it used to be. I've been on BookTube for an upwards of 7, maybe more, I don't even know anymore, years, and it's just really wearing on me, and I'm just not really sure what I'm doing. I don't want to say that I don't love my channel, I don't love talking about books, that I don't love making content, because I still love all of those things, and I wish that they could be a full-time job for me, that I could make this something that I get to do every day because I love it that much. But my life just hasn't been the same within the past year, and I don't really know what I'm doing. I don't think I'm alone in feeling any of this either, which is kind of sad. I've noticed a lot of creators, especially ones that have been on the platform for a few years, who are kind of feeling the same way, and just things that I've noticed with their own content, and whether that's just not posting anymore, leaving, finding different avenues, or changing their content. There's a lot of it, and I think BookTube specifically has a burnout problem. It is the type of content that we put out, book creators put out, and I think it is a massive burn. Obviously, I can't really speak to other people's experiences. I can really speak to mine, which is what I'm going to do today, and just like some of the observations that I have made over the years, especially recently in BookTube. Where to start? For those who may be newer to my channel, I used to post videos at least 3 times a week. Tag Tuesday is where my channel really grew, and I was pretty dedicated to making sure that I was posting a tag every single Tuesday. Over time, the trends change, you know, things like that change, schedules change, and so I went to posting 3 times a week still, but just various different content and whatnot, recommendations, things like that. So yeah, I've been on BookTube, I think, for an upwards of 7 years, and a lot has changed in that time. I will say I think I really started to notice the burnout, as with most people, when the pandemic was really in all of our faces, first hitting, and when we went into isolation and lockdown, my habits were broken. And I struggle really hard to reform habits. And I wasn't really sure what was happening within those 2 years. The 2 years since we officially were in a lockdown have been so fucking hard in trying to just get my life in order, to be honest. I feel like a lot of people knew me as being a very organized person and being really on top of things, and knew me for planning videos, and I can't get there. And in a way, it feels like I've lost a bit of myself in that, because that was a little bit of what I was known for. So I was really struggling with not fully understanding what was going on with myself. And I was finding tasks and remembering to do tasks really hard. So I finally went and sought help, and I was diagnosed with ADHD, which makes a lot more sense in retrospect. And on top of that, I also took on a new job within that time frame. A lot of changes, a lot of things were happening during this time. I also took on a new job, and it is a job that is emotionally and creatively draining to me every single day. It takes most of me every single day. That means that I don't have a lot of leftover energy to spend on making videos. Some of my favorite things were filming videos, whether that was in some sort of character or whatever, and then editing. I used to love editing videos. It was one of my favorite things to do. You can get so creative with editing, and I hate it now. I hate it. I dread it. I film a video and I don't want to do it. It just feels like more work on top of a day that I've already worked so much at. And I just find that I'm just not motivated. I think about doing it and I'm just not motivated. I'd rather just lay around, and I'm like, I'll do it tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes, and I'm like, well, I'll do it tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes, and I'm like, well, next week. There's always next week. So I think a lot of losing my schedule as well, because I went from posting 3 times a week, and then slowly it was 2 times a week, and then 1 times a week, and now we're at like once a month. It's just slowly dwindled away. I have also really struggled in those moments with feeling lazy and unaccomplished. I constantly feel like I'm letting people down. On top of that, I feel like I was constantly promising things and then I couldn't ever deliver on any of them, despite really wanting to do them, but just not having the time or the energy to really put my all into it. And then when I would finally take the time to create something, just not being happy with it. I've had people commenting on some of my videos that, you know, they're like, what's wrong? You look tired. You just don't seem like you enjoyed any of this, and you like, what's going on? Like, people have noticed. Somehow feeling all of those things has made me feel even less motivated. Like the fact that like I'm not getting anything done. You would think I would maybe feel more motivated, but in the long run I'm feeling even less motivated to do those things. I also, in that time frame, just in the past 2 years, I've really had to look at my channel and realize that my channel is not what I want. It's not where I want it to be. BookTube has evolved so much in the time since I began making content. And as with any content creation, as with any platform, the trends are going to change. They have just changed and changed and changed, and I don't think I'm growing in the direction that the trends are going. I have just found overall that my interests are changing. I think being on BookTube is hard in that you have to box yourself in. Nothing outside of book content tends to do well on BookTube, which is really frustrating because so many of us have so many other interests. When you're posting about something that isn't books, it's not going to do as well. I don't want to say that I don't love reading and I don't love books, because I do, and I will always love reading. I will always love books, and so much of my life has been surrounded with that love. I've made literally my whole life about books, and I've just been finding actually reading and wanting to read harder and harder. My passion is just, it's burnt out. It's gone. I think about reading books and I almost dread it. I don't want to really sit down and read because I often feel like I'm wasting my time. I've gone to audiobooks a lot because I feel like I can get other things done as I am listening to them, but that isn't a good way to read. To feel like you have to be productive while you're doing it and you have to accomplish something. It should just be for fun. I feel like I'm just pushing myself to listen to things to tally. Just to tally at the end of the day. The books have just become a tally in my life. It's how many books did I read this month? We better get those numbers up. What can I find to read that will really bump these numbers up? How can this look impressive in a video? I think a lot of people go through this, and this isn't just unique to me, but I do think a lot of people go through this in life where, you just kind of like get a little bit sick of a hobby that you have. The thing is too, though, I'm still a very creative person and I'm still someone who loves connecting with people, and I went in search of something outside of YouTube, basically. I know I spent a good many months figuring out what was the next level for my channel, because I had been on YouTube and it was boring. And I felt like, are people still here for this? Like, I'm just not too sure. So I went looking for new things. I decided to try a few different platforms and really looking into new platforms. And I decided to try streaming as well, which some of you have seen my live shows here, but I do also stream on Twitch. And I fell in love with it. I think it's only natural that story lovers and readers turn to gaming because it is a different form of storytelling, often where you get to be the main character and make the decisions. It also felt like a hobby that I had missed out on for so long because I had convinced myself that I would never be good at them. Internalized misogyny, we love it. And I would say that Twitch has become my new main platform. Numbers-wise, YouTube is still my biggest platform. But I would tell you that the one that I want to go to the most, the one that I want to be on the most, the one that I'm putting the most energy and time into is Twitch right now. I just love the level of interaction that I can feel. And it feels like something that I have been missing on YouTube for so long. Have always felt, because this has always been my number one problem, and my personal problem with being a content creator on YouTube is that I am not a commenter. I've never really been a commenter. I don't really comment on other people's videos, and I'm incredibly bad at commenting on my own videos and making sure people know that I have seen their comments. I read every single comment that comes in, but I rarely acknowledge them, and it's always been an issue for me. I really love streaming because I do get to feel that sense of connecting and really feeling like I'm building a great community around myself. I think, too, I've just really distanced it from YouTube, so it's not the same. A lot of the stuff that I have on Twitch is not the same here. It's a different username. It's kind of a different vibe. It's a different persona type thing. And I think I really just wanted to distance myself and kind of create a whole new space for myself, because this space was no longer feeling like a good fit. Given all of that, being a content creator and even noticing that the content wasn't necessarily what I wanted still wasn't quite the final straw in my burnout. Like, I was still like, I can still, produce the same content. I can still put out my wrap-ups and my hauls and things like that, and that will be fine. Like, they're not things that are overly exciting, but they still get my opinions and my thoughts out there, because there are still people who enjoy that. The final blow, when I really realized that I was just burnt out on BookTube completely, when I realized that it was bad and that I was looking at something that I was going to have to take action on. Not finding joy in reading, not finding joy in filming content, not finding joy in editing the content. It's all pretty bad. I had just convinced myself that it would be fine, that it was fine. I needed a month off, and then I'll be back, and then I'll be back. I'll be fine. I think it's when I realized that I had inadvertently distanced myself from the book community in and of itself. I found I didn't even want to watch any videos. I didn't want to watch BookTube. I didn't want to watch any book content on any platform. I stopped opening Instagram because all of the accounts I follow on Instagram are books. Don't even open it. Haven't posted on there. I don't want to be reminded that I'm not making that content. BookTok, I'm not on BookTok. I've tried to make a few videos, and there's a few content creators that I interact with, but for the most part, I don't want it on my For You page. I don't use my subscriber button on YouTube. I just use suggested videos anymore. When I open up YouTube, I watch suggested videos. They're not books. This is the book content is the content I was obsessed with for years. We're talking years before I started a BookTube channel. Through my BookTube channel, this was stuff that I was obsessed with. Gathering ideas, connecting with other creators, which is one of the most fabulous parts of this. I just want to know parts. I didn't want it. Seeing book content reminds me of all that I'm not doing. It reminds me of everything that I want to do but have no motivation to do. It makes me feel really overwhelmed. It makes me feel like an imposter. It makes me feel ashamed of a channel that I have worked really hard to build. I'm just not happy with the content that is here. I feel like my vlogs aren't good enough because I can't commit to vlogs all the time. I feel like I'm a perfectionist when it comes to vlogs. I worry too much about what type of content it is. I often talk too much. It wasn't a thing I could keep up with either, because vlog content is longer content, which means more editing. I feel like my recommendations are stale. I feel like my videos are just really lackluster compared to a lot of new content. No matter how many times I feel like I've tried to reinvent my channel to some degree and the content that I was doing, it just constantly did not feel like it was ever up to where it needed to be. It wasn't up to standard. I have officially lost track of new releases. I could not tell you what is going on in BookTube right now, what is trending in BookTube right now, and I just feel really tired of it all. Don't want to give up on this channel because that was very much what I was considering. I've been considering quitting and just letting the channel die. I thought about just doing it quietly. Just stop posting. Who would notice? My engagement is down. I've been actively losing subscribers, and it was really getting to me. And I knew that I was putting in my energy somewhere else. So at the same time, I kind of felt bad. I felt like I was abandoning something that I had put so much of my time and my energy and my heart into, and I didn't want to do that. I'm going to be inconsistent for quite some time. You're still going to see videos from me here and there, especially sponsored videos. Don't come at your girl for making money, okay? I need it. So I think you're going to get videos from me, but you might see me just testing new things. And you know what? I have a feeling I'm going to lose a wave of people during this testing phase. I'm still going to post bookish content, but I think I'm going to try a few different things. I've considered making a channel that is totally unrelated to books, maybe just lifestyle stuff, and seeing if it does well on its own without prompting anyone to it, just to see, is it me? Like, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just not good at content. But for right now, I think I just need to take some time. I've started seeing a therapist. Take some time to get to know me and to form more habits and to figure out what my life looks like, because it's been 2 years in feeling like I'm a mess. And I feel like I just need to figure out how to stop being messy. That does lead me into, I don't want to say discussion because I'm probably not going to answer any of your comments. I'm going to read all of them. I'll probably talk about them on stream because it's much easier for me to talk about things than it is for me to type them out, apparently. BookTube in general has a burnout problem. So when I talk about these things, I want other people who feel this way to know that it's not just them, and that also it is the system that is currently existing on this platform. You are expected to read all of it and then read some more. BookTube is such a back work heavy content creation. I still think that it is probably one of the most effort that anyone has to put into a content creation is BookTube. It takes your creativity, it takes your emotional energy, it takes your mental energy to constantly be on top of things, to be reading new things, to be reviewing things, but to put out a lot of content. The thing is, BookTube expects more and more of content creators each year. It's like you are a bad content creator if you're only reading the buzzword books. You're a bad content creator if you're only reading things no one has heard of. You better find the good mixture. You're a bad content creator if you're not posting the newest vlog trend within a month. Nope. Just within a month. No, within a week of it trending. You're a bad content creator if you're not posting to YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok all at once. And I know that this type of mindset, especially with like posting other places and being interactive, are all part of content creation in general, but BookTube in and of itself has so much back work. You have to be researching titles. You have to be going and finding these titles. You have to then read the titles. You then have to spend time thinking through what you're going to say about them. Do you want to include why you liked it, why you disliked it? Do you want citations? How in-depth of this review do you want it to be? Do I need to read something new to make this content happen? Also, you better read at least 20 books a month. If not, who wants to watch a wrap-up anymore that's 3 books long? We're not bad content creators. I mean, I might be, but you're expected, just like every other content creator, to be putting out constant content. But your content depends on so much of your time and emotional labor. You're not just picking up a gadget and using it and seeing how it goes. You're not just getting clothes and trying them on and giving a review. You're not playing a game and then just uploading your playthrough of it. You have to be reading 20 books a month. They must be talked about in a really thoughtful way. Otherwise, you're not a real reader. Also, don't forget to be enthusiastic in your reviews, because otherwise you might be boring. But also don't be too enthusiastic, because then no one will take you seriously. Don't read too much of one genre, because then you're not well read enough. It's a lot of work with a lot less payoff. Thing is, you have to go into BookTube knowing that. You have to understand when you go into it, which is really unfortunate that you are going to put in all this work and the payoff is going to be basically non-existent. The biggest payoff is just creating a really lovely community. That's not always enough to keep from feeling those frustrations and feeling that hurt. There's a reason that so many of these other platforms are doing better, whereas BookTube just is draining. YouTube as a whole is draining. I feel like this was just a long way of saying, hey, my channel is going to be a mess for a while, and I'm not really sure what the future of this channel holds in general. I love it so much. This channel means so much to me. It has been my passion for an incredibly long time now. It's one of my biggest commitments in life. And I don't want to lose it, but I have definitely lost a lot of the passion, and I do think that the platform in and of itself is a bit to blame for that. And some of it is me just trying to figure out my own stuff. I will say that if you do want to catch me, I talk about books, but games and life and a bunch of other things on my Twitch. I'm live there currently 3 times a week. I think it's also a long way of saying that YouTube is not doing booktubers any favors, and that I think we just need to make sure that we know that, you know, how much effort our content creators are putting into their channels. It's a lot of their heart and their soul, and that it can be very draining. So, you know, if they seem like they're losing steam, just keep in mind that this platform in and of itself can be incredibly frustrating and a bit unforgiving. I don't want to discourage anyone from creating a booktube. It is an absolutely fantastic corner of the internet to be on. I think it's one of the most welcoming. It's places, I think, to make friends. It's most of my friends, well, my bestest friends I've made through BookTube, and it can be really, really rewarding to build those communities. Anyway, I don't really know what I was seeking to accomplish in this video, other than that, the fact that I'm burnout, but that BookTube also has a burnout problem, and that is all. Thank you so much to anyone who has supported me in any way on this channel and just given me a view, interacted, left a comment. I swear I do read them. I read every single one. Thank you for all of that. Thank you for this is like 7 years on YouTube, and I feel like we've done some things and we've changed some things and we're all different people now. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one, whenever that may be. Bye!